Yeah, I mean, it seems pretty good. We actually have another match now for you guys. Joe Lossett with Blue White Miracles, who we featured earlier, versus Nathan Groves playing Rug Delver. Looks like these guys are in game 2. Joe Lossett has taken game 1. Miracles is my deck, my legacy deck. I love it.
It does seem like your speed. A lot of islands.
Absolutely my speed, and I play the Reed Duke land tax version. I've been
so what's your
loving
call
it.
on that volcanic island? Do you think that's real? Do you think that's beta, or do you think that's Sharpie?
It looks Sharpie to me.
I'm gonna go with Sharpie too, but I don't mind a Sharpie. If anyone's played Commander against me, they know I love a good Sharpieing.
Yeah, that's interesting. I actually tweeted a Will-o'-the-Wisp that I found that was Sharpie. It was a revised Will-o'-the-Wisp from, years ago that I must have still just had floating around in my collection. I'm like, hey, look at this. Found a Sharpied Will-o'-the-Wisp.
Nathan's a little color restricted here with Rug Delver. One of the weakest aspects of Rug Delver is its mana base. Sometimes it just kills itself. And Joe is going to play around those wastelands as much as he can, which, because he's playing a 2-color blue-white deck, is quite well.
Yeah, and that's one of the big advantages to just sticking with a 2-color deck in Legacy. I definitely like that, especially the land tax version that I play plays a lot of extra basics just for the land tax. So that's not the version Joe's playing here.
How often do you get to play?
Not very often. I mean, most of my, actually all of my experience playing is just with friends. More playtesting than actual tournaments. I just don't get to play very often at all in tournaments because the weekends that I have available to devote to Magic, here I am in the booth. So.
Well, that's going to be a Force of Will pitching Spell Pierce to counterbalance. Good thing for Nathan, because a blind counterbalance is actually pretty dangerous against Rug Delver. The natural low casting cost of so many of the cards will just accidentally catch him.
Yeah.
Joe's going to fetch again now. I'm curious where he's going with this. I imagine he has to get an island. Oh, he got a... he's got no white mana unless he has another fetch land, and he's burned 2 Flooded Strands, so...
Yeah, interesting. Maybe he's trying to build up to a Cryptic Command, maybe? What do you think?
Relic of Progenitus, an excellent card against Rug Delver, because one of the most problematic creatures for the blue-white decks is Nimble Mongoose, and Relic of Progenitus handles it nicely. It also handles that guy.
Yeah, Grim Lava Mancer not too happy to see a Relic of Progenitus on the other side.
Speak of the wizard.
Relic so good that that it's main decked in Reed Duke's version. Not in this particular version. He actually main decks 2 relics. Reed Duke does. 2 on the board here for Joe Lossett. I'm going to get it right. There's a second counterbalance from Joe.
Does Nathan have another Force of Will? No.
Here's he has a Pyroblast in hand, but
he's gonna have to
not cast it here.
It's going to be tricky.
Yeah, he's going to have to try to get him.
It's very awkward because of that fetch land. Even if he runs a test spell to see if the counterbalance has a 1 on top, Joe can go for it again with the Marshflats.
Yeah.
Actually, he could even pop the Relic of Progenitus to just get a new fresh card.
Yep.
So
a lot of ways to get a fresh card on top for Joe.
Joe's hand appears to be a little land heavy if you take a look. I saw a lot of white-bordered cards. That generally means lands when you're watching a Legacy match.
Absolutely.
Perhaps there's a window for Nathan to get in here.
A whole lot of thinking going on here. He might want to start making use of that Lavamancer though while he can as well. Like,
I'm sure he will.
There's a Tarmogoyf.
Oh, this is so crushing because that Relic is doing a lot of work.
Yeah, so...
we just saw the land. He's going to go for it.
Yeah, so we know the Caracas is on top right now. Did not counter the Tarmogoyf. But Pyroblast now on the stack. Joe has the option to, as you mentioned, break the Relic, draw a card, get a fresh card, and can maybe hit a 1. Or crack the Marshflats. The other thing he can do, he has a Brainstorm there.
Does he? Oh, wow.
In his hand. I just happened to see it.
The issue here is if his hand's all land, he needs to do something to reset the top of the deck first, because he'd much rather be drawing 3 cards he doesn't know when he knows the Caracas isn't going to help him.
Yeah, so it looks like he actually is more keen on cracking, on brainstorming pre-fetch. So he's got 2 opportunities to hit a 1.
Yeah, I feel like I would be more inclined to fetch first, especially because Caracas is not even good. Like, it's just a bad card in this matchup.
I'm actually with you on that. Like, I don't want the Karakas that badly. It's not as if he needs the white mana from the Karakas. He's got a Marsh Flats in play.
Yeah.
And we've seen him.
He has at least one Tundra in his hand as well. So.
Yeah, and he's specifically chosen islands in off of several fetch lands. So
well, he kept a spell in his hand. He's gonna fetch now, it looks like, and try and hit the random. Yeah. I don't know. I think I prefer doing this the other way around.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, either way, you're looking at 3 fresh cards. Just the difference is that now he doesn't know one of them.
Right.
But I suppose, well, I suppose when his hand is that land heavy, I guess Joe's thinking is, I just want to definitely get rid of 2 of these lands. If the Prior Bust kills my counterbalance, that's not that big a deal. But if my hand is just filled with lands, that's much more problematic. So if that's his thinking, I guess I can get behind it because he's hoping to draw spells over the next 2 turns rather than be stuck with the Brainstorm that's going to be delivering lands.
So it was a Tundra on top.
That is probably the worst thing that could have happened.
Yeah, seriously, another land.
On the upside, his Relic will make that Tarmogoyf not very threatening in the near future.
And he activates the Relic, draws the Tundra.
What's that spell he kept?
I can't quite see it. It's the last card in his hand. Oh, we're going to find out right now.
Snapcaster
Mage.
Snapcaster.
Okay,
That's a nice one.
You're going to see Snapcaster Brainstorm, maybe?
I think that's his only spell, so that seems likely.
Looks like it. Yeah, he's just so flooded.
This explains
right now.
one of the reasons he would be very unkeen to pop that Relic.
Yeah.
Ooh, I see a Terminus.
I also see a Terminus, and it appears that...
I think that puts Joe in pretty good shape in general. Nathan's low on cards. His creatures are already ineffective. By the time he actually musters a real threat, Joe will be able to Terminus with some kind of backup.
So he kept the Terminus in hand here. Oh no, he put one back. There he goes. He puts it on top. Sorry.
That's interesting. I guess that's fine. I would almost be inclined to let it sit.
Why is the Snapcaster dying?
Well, that guy's in play. We may pop our Relic right now. No, that'd be terrible with the way our Terminus position. Oh, we may pop it on
his turn.
Nathan's turn.
So he may be setting that up.
The reason I would consider popping the Relic now and having put the Terminus a second card down is that way your Snapcaster Mage is actually playing pretty good defense. Your opponent can't attack into it, and the Grim Lavamancer won't be able to kill it because there won't be any cards.
There won't be any cards,
Nathan's graveyard. And no one wants to trade their 1/2 Tarmogoyf for the 2/1 Snapcaster Mage.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's great.
That's probably the best Nathan would be able to do.
So it looks like he's going to say, crack the Relic. Oh, do we have... Okay.
Yep, a response.
Lavamancer kills Snapcaster, just like, oh man, I really, it's a shame.
Note that Joe decided to go for the upkeep here because he's pretty sure his opponent doesn't have a Spell Pierce now, and he doesn't want to risk him drawing one.
Yeah, so there you have the Terminus off the top, set up by that Brainstorm. And the board is clear once again. Nathan plays a Nimble Mongoose, which is, again, very, very unthreatening, if that's the word.
It's not super effective.
There's a Portent, the one Portent in Joe's deck.
I like the Portent that I've seen in these lists. It's
like
a
it
neat
too.
way to trigger miracles. One's not going to gum you up too much, so...
Right, I think I haven't tried it myself, but it may be something I'd be willing to give it a shot just because it seems like a fun card to try out, It's different. I don't know that I've ever cast a Portent, now that I think about it.
Austin tweeted that he considers the Omni deck a bad matchup. So,
I imagine that's...
I think that's fair to say after watching it transpire. He really needs a Pyroblast, and his opponent has Cabal Therapies to remove them, so that's tough.
So there's that Portent finishes resolving, and upkeep, right? Untap, upkeep, draw his card. That's the...
Just making sure there's no stifles here.
Yeah, the way the Portent works there, and Nathan plays a Scalding Tarn, swings in for 1 with the Nimble Mongoose. Not so nimble. I guess nimble isn't describing its power and toughness, though.
We have another counterbalance, so that'll, again, just make life more complicated for Nathan if it resolves. He can hard cast a Force of Will if he has one. So.
He has a Daze. That is not enough.
That's interesting.
Got a Daze and a Bolt.
I would classify those cards as not great.
Snapcaster Mage. We're going to see a Portent again?
That's my guess.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine he'd play Terminus here. Not very afraid of the 1/1.
I really like, Joe's a very careful player. Here he chooses to drop the Snapcaster Mage after the counterbalance, so he gets to free roll a shot at that counterbalance, countering whatever might happen to it.
Yeah,
Daze, Joe's going to pay 1, not even going to look at the top of the deck. I like that. I like his Moxie. And now,
Bolt
like,
for
right,
Snapcaster.
I'll try to kill it.
So he's like, so Snapcaster resolved then?
Yeah.
Is that right?
I'm going to target important, and now you're going to Lightning Bolt in response to my trigger. That's cool. I'm just going to let it go. Okay,
yeah.
Interesting. I'm kind of curious about that, especially if you're going to Portent anyway. Like, your opponent's not going to know what you're drawing since that card could be any of those
You could have
three,
just blind flipped a 1 there and stopped the bolt.
Yep. Especially like you could just shuffle as he is. Yeah.
So
on the upside, it looks like those cards. The top of the card was a land, I think.
Yeah, he didn't stuff he didn't want. So
it wouldn't have saved the Snapcaster anyway.
Yeah. So Nathan, one of the situations where you don't want the top card to be a miracle here. He's tapped out, wouldn't be able to cast it on the Portent draw.
I don't think he would mind drawing an Entreat the Angels that much against his hellbent opponent, to be totally honest.
Well, I guess I mean
untap
he
make a couple Angels.
Untap and do it. Yeah, I'm talking about he can't actually miracle it. That's
yeah,
what
no.
I meant, yeah.
I mean, it's it's kind of a stinger, but Entreat for 2 is just fine.
Yeah.
Entreat for 4, twice as good.
Yep.
Is it twice as good even? I think it might be slightly better.
Yeah, I was gonna say it might actually be more than.
It might be more
good.
like 2.7 times as good.
Could
something
be
in
about
that.
2.69 maybe.
I don't want to haggle.
Yeah. No. So Jason the Mind Sculptor, he's pretty good.
Against fetch lands, I'm not sure if we're gonna Fate Seal here. The Nimble Mongoose could jump to an alarming size thanks to Wasteland, Wasteland, Fetchland, Fetchland. All Nathan would need to draw is a single spell or another Fetchland to make his Nimble Mongoose a 3/3.
All right, so Joe Lossett is absolutely flooded. 2 lands he was able to put back there. He may even still. He still has another land in hand.
Yeah, it's really hard to feel bad for the guy with Jason.
No, I guess if you're like, well, the bad news is I have to be flooded. The good news is I have Jason counterbalance on the board. I'll take the flood.
Yeah, it's a poorly attended pity party for Joe Lossett.
Sorry, it's my bias is coming through. Like, come on, can he just draw Sensei's top and then Entreat the Angels?
Brainstorm's a fine spell here. Nathan may even find himself suddenly gaining Threshold.
Yeah, I think he's going to want to take out that Jace ASAP if he's able to, even if it means just wastelanding his own fetch lands.
Yeah. Andrew Ward asks, what's the reasoning for 1 Portent and several Ponders versus the other way around in Miracles? And I actually think most don't run Ponder. I think Joe is also running no Ponders.
0 Ponders.
And it's because the Ponders, while they help you set up Miracles, they do not help you trigger them very well. And you already have Brainstorms, which are excellent at the job. Jace is excellent at the job. And Portent, as far as triggering a Miracle goes, is better than Ponders. So sorcery speed, 1-drop cantrips, not that popular in Legacy and non-combo decks.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the short version of it is to look at it and say Portent versus Ponder. Portent is a Ponder that lets you set up the first draw during your opponent's turn.
Yeah.
So you can set up a Miracle to be the top card that the first card you draw of the turn. It happens to be your opponent's upkeep, and that way you can set up the Miracle to happen during your opponent's turn.
When your primary goal is setting up those Miracles, it's kind of interesting because a slow trip is actually much faster.
Yeah, it works out better because if you say you want to cast a Terminus, well, if you ponder and if ponder into a Terminus, you can't cast the Terminus that turn, even if it's the card you draw off Ponder, because you've already drawn a card for the turn. But if it was a Portent, you put the Terminus on top, you draw it during Nathan's turn, Terminus there. So it's all about the trying to get that Miracle off.
Thanks to John Barber, he noted that Joe actually already knew that card, so it wouldn't have been a blind flip. He just already knew it wasn't going to save a Snapcaster Mage.
Oh, okay.
Which,
good point.
I admittedly lost track of the turns on that one, so that's not my bad, guys.
So there's a Vendilion Click, and Surgical Extraction, blind flip, sees Counterspell, does not counter the Surgical Extraction.
No, and that reveals Swords, Brainstorm, and if I'm Nathan, I'm thinking, man, this isn't going anywhere good anytime soon.
What is he extracting here?
Well, let's see. I think it's Snapcast information, but I'm not sure. Nope, Terminus.
It was Terminus. Okay, so we see Nathan fears the Terminus here.
He hopes to leave Joe without any real answers to Nimble Mongoose. Problem is, I don't even know if he needs him. Like, he's on 15, but he's going to draw so many cards turn after turn. He has Vendilion Click on defense right now. Yep, we're going to block.
Yeah, just going to trade away the Vendilion Click for the Nimble Mongoose, and I'm happy with that if I'm Joe. And I am Joe, just a different Joe.
This game's going to take a couple turns to close out, but I think Joe has it pretty much on lock at this point.
He's going to brainstorm here with Jace.
As soon as he finds Entreat, it's just like all
I think did he just find Baneslayer Angel? He did.
Yes.
Loved seeing Baneslayer Angel in Legacy.
He's not the only Miracles player playing Baneslayer Angels.
No, I have it in the board. Reed Duke mentioned again. I'm just playing Reed Duke's list, and he mentions Baneslayer. He has played Baneslayer. I don't know if he had it with him in DC, but anyway, Baneslayer Angel is now on the table.
You know, my read on this game taking a while may have been wrong.
Yeah.
Baneslayer Angel isn't known for her slow work.
No, not at all. Looking down and seeing Jace the Mind Sculptor next to Baneslayer, suddenly I'm thinking, what year is it? It feels like 2010 standard. I mean, there is a counterbalance and a Tundra in view, so it's kind of waking me up back to reality.
Counterbalance is playing like a reverse predict for Joe, basically. Yeah, this is what I'm getting. He loses his Tundra to that Wasteland. Gotcha. Nathan making that play to make sure Joe gets one less Angel than he might otherwise.
Yeah, that seems good enough. Although he has one additional Angel in the form of Baneslayer that Nathan's probably not thinking about, or wasn't thinking about.
Yeah, that's a Force of Will. I'm calling it, guys.
Yeah, I think Joe's got this match. Baneslayer Angel just gained him 5, also knocked Nathan to 11. And since Adrian's not here, I'll just say it. It's all over but the crying. He accidentally dropped
revealed the Force of Will. That's kind of awkward. I'm sure Nathan's just thinking, oh, yeah, sweet. Force of Will.
Oh, good. Yeah,
that's
there
awesome.
it is. There's
Yeah.
the handshake. Nathan Grove scoops to Joe Lossett and his miraculous recovery there.
Well, that was a match between two of the titans of Legacy, basically, Miracles and Rug Delver.